And I just realized my mic was muted, so I apologize about that, guys. But I wanted to welcome everyone to the 28th Chill and Chat live on air. And just want to welcome everyone that's joined us so far and everyone that's in the chat. Appreciate you guys coming along for the ride. But I really enjoy these Chill and Chats. You know, I do them every week. I do them for at least an hour every Sunday evening. And I really enjoy this time to just kind of sit back, relax, enjoy home arcades, and we come up with some pretty interesting discussions sometimes. I'll have everything kind of lined up for the show, but you know, it seems like every show will end up going off on some other subject that someone in the chat brings up, and it just brings up really interesting discussion. So definitely want to keep everyone involved. Definitely want to make sure I'm reading off as many chats as I can while still getting through what I have prepared for the show. But let's first say hi to everyone who's made it this evening. And first, let's say hi to Carl O. He was our first chat this evening. He had some difficulty, I guess, with one of his chats getting deleted. I don't know if that's YouTube that does that and they do some filtering or what's going on. I haven't deleted any chats. Good to see you, Donovan. Glad you've made it. Happy to see you're here, and I hope you have a good Sunday as well. Matt Astra is here as well. Good to see you, Matt Astra. And he was asking about, are we going to talk about the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 news that I saw on Reddit? And we absolutely are. I've got that lined up for this evening. And there's some pretty interesting stuff going on there. So let's see who else has made it. Looks like Made in Canada is here. Good to see you, Made in Canada. Talking about no audio. I apologize for that first 10 seconds or whatever. I had my mic muted. I always mean to check that before I go live or before the countdown is over, but I had missed it. But luckily I caught it real quick. Chaotix here talking about how I'm muted. Carl O, Mike, got that resolved. And Harry X is here. Good to see you, Harry X. And I'm happy you've made it and you're here in the chat with us. Chaotic, he says, how are you enjoying Circus Interstellar? And that's a very good question, Chaotic. So if anyone's out there and you don't know what this game is, it was a game that was released for the iArcade by some indie developers that didn't quite finish the game before iArcade went out of business. So they gave away some free product codes for the only the only iArcade versions of this game. There are Steam versions that you can purchase for $4.99. I think that's a more complete version. And then there's like a beta version for the iArcade, which is the one I got. I won one of the free product codes. There were a total of 10 that were handed out and that were prizes during the Friday night arcade show with Brooklyn. And I was one of the 10 lucky people that won a product code. So I've got some stuff lined up for that. I actually wanted to talk about Circus Interstellar. And I think it's a really cool game. And we'll get into that here later on in the show. But let's start, guys, with Arcade 1-Up. So I want to start with them in this CasinoCade, because we got news this week of the CasinoCade that we've known has been, you know, we've known this for some time that it was coming. And it's coincidental enough, if you guys go back and watch my Chill and Chat from about 3 weeks ago, I said that we're getting the Wheel of Fortune CasinoCade within the next 2 to 3 weeks. And that's exactly what happened. So I called it. I was just paying attention to the Arcade 1-Up shorts and the things that they put out on their social media. And I put 2 and 2 together, and I could tell that it was just right around the corner, and was happy to see that I was right on that and that I predicted it. Kurt Mason's here saying, yo, good to see you, Kurt Mason. Glad you made it this evening. And Chaotic, me and you both, he won a free copy as well of that Circus Interstellar, which we'll talk about later on this evening. And then Headshake TV has joined us. What's up, Biggie? He just made it to the show. Made it just in time, because we're just now really getting started on the show. And we're going to start with Arcade 1-Up. And, you know, we want to talk about what has been released this year in 2023. We've not seen much. This has been a very light year for Arcade 1-Up. I've actually been thinking about this here for a few days on what I wanted to discuss with this year in this very light, slow release year for Arcade 1-Up. And and why we haven't seen many releases this year in 2023. And it's the business model. You know, the business model of home arcades is changing. Some people will say it's dying, that the interest is being lost, and there's just not as much momentum behind this idea of home arcades anymore. And I don't necessarily agree with that opinion. I do think we're going through a transition where home arcades are going to look very different here in 2 or 3 years than what they looked like, you know, in 2019 or 2020. The company Arcade1Up has to innovate. They have to change their business model. The way they, you know, produce these cabinets has to change, or they could end up going bankrupt like iArcade, or they could be like At Games where they hardly release anything ever. And we don't want to see that. And definitely Arcade1Up doesn't want to see that. So they're playing their cards close right now. And just like in poker, when you don't have a good hand, you have to be tight in the way that you play the game. And that's essentially what Arcade1Up is doing right now. They see that things aren't heading up anymore. We're kind of on the decline as far as enthusiasm and interest in these home arcades. So they're focusing on what works, what's going to make the company money, what's going to get them through this stage and allow them the time to innovate and create new and better products for us. So this is that year. And what we've seen so far is we've seen 2 solid cabinets that we know will sell, that we know the retailers want to get, and that's the Pac-Man and the Class of 81. Now, these released simultaneously, and with these 2, we saw them at Best Buy. They were a deluxe, straight, you know, to the retailer, and then the retailer sells them to us, no direct to consumer. And this was an innovative idea because they got rid of those risers, and we had the slanted screen. Next, we got the Mortal Kombat 2 Deluxe. This followed maybe a month or 2 after, and Mortal Kombat 2 Deluxe was released. And then shortly after that, we got the Fast and the Furious, and that was our most recent cabinet release, was Arcade1Up's Fast and the Furious. So we've got a total of 4 cabinet releases in 2023, technically 3 because 2 of them are Pac-Man. So I want to bring up what we're going to be discussing next, because this is the next release in 2023. And that's going to be the Wheel of Fortune CasinoCade. Now, I had noticed too that normally I can bring up everyone's chats here, and it's kind of like, I don't know if we're just not getting chats at the moment or if I'm just not seeing them. I did have some wonky things going on with the chat before the stream started, so I'm going to bring that back up for myself so I can see what everybody's saying. There we go. Okay, here we go. So the last comment I got here was Tony C, and I only want the Miss Pac-Man Deluxe to come out. Let me see if I can get this up on the screen, guys. Apologize for the technical difficulties. Right. There it goes. Tony C, I only wanted the Miss Pac-Man Deluxe when it comes out. So that's going to be the one that they were going to release that was in the promotional material, but then they pulled it last moment. Took the Miss Pac-Man out of what was going to be available. So we're definitely going to probably see the Miss Pac-Man in 2023. But we know for a fact that our next release, because we could see it on the website, is Wheel of Fortune. So let's take a look at this cabinet. Okay, so the Wheel of Fortune is more of a tabletop type cabinet design, similar to the iArcade, where you have your riser and then you have your tabletop arcade that sits right on top. Now this also is going to run $5.99. It's going to have Wheel of Fortune games as well as many other games as well. These are going to be casino type games, gambling type games, like poker, video poker, roulette, all, and we can see these here: 3-card poker, word waffle, deuces wild. So all these casino type games. And this is a very different type of cabinet. And this is when I was speaking at the beginning of the stream and telling you guys that Arcade1Up has to do something different this year. This is their plan. This is their their thing that they're kind of going out on a limb. They're going to try and expand their business model, expand their demographic to a larger audience so they can grow their company and they can kind of prepare for the long run, because they're 5-6 years in business now. And if they want to still be in business in 10 years, they're going to have to innovate. They're going to have to change. And that's what they're trying, or they're attempting to do with this CasinoCade. So let's look at the features. Let's look at the facts of these and see what we're getting. So the features are, we're getting a Wi-Fi enabled cabinet with online leaderboards, dual screens. Now keep in mind, these are very small screens. They're 10.1 inch for the bottom and an 8-inch top screen. So much smaller than what we're used to. But they do have the light up buttons and they got the lights around the screen. So hopefully there's enough stuff still going on around these smaller screens to keep you engaged and keep you enjoying what you're playing. It's 5 feet tall, so it's a taller design, something that you can stand and play in front of, or sit in a stool and play as well. And 20 unlockable games. So you're going to get your, I think it's 4 total Wheel of Fortune games, and then a total of 20 unlockable games. And Tony C said no pull arm equals no buy. So we saw that in some of the boxes in the leak, they had the arms that we could pull on. This one, however, for whatever reason, the CasinoCade did not have that arm puller. And one thing I did notice, though, is the ones we saw in the leak that had those were smaller, more of like your partycade size, where this is more of an arcade 3/4 scale size. And I don't know if they ever did have in the plans to have the arm that we could pull on with this particular one, this 3/4 scale. I think those were reserved for the partycade size ones, which we've never seen. But that does actually raise the cost. They probably had to pull that in efforts to get the cost under $500, and now we know $599. So that was another thing I wanted to bring up is when we first saw this on the website this week, it was $499. They've since raised the price to $599. So they're really asking a lot for this. I know it's new. I know it's different. And I know that a lot of people in our home arcade community are going to be excited and they're going to run out and buy this regardless of the price. But I feel like Arcade 1Up is really kind of taking advantage right now, just getting that extra $100 in their pocket when they could have just kept it the $499. They would have done well. Potentially got it in more homes than they're going to do at $599. So they have their reasons for doing the pricing and the things that they do. We're not really privy to that information. Maybe they have their reasons, but I feel like $499, $599, not that much of a difference. Why change it last minute? Are we getting something new that we don't know about? Is there something on the website that they're about to put on there that list extra features we don't know about for that $100? I don't know. Matt Astra says the 10-inch is a touchscreen, is it not? And it is, yeah. So very good question, Matt Astra. Is this a 10-inch screen, touch screen? And it is. So you've got 2 ways you can play it. You're pressing the buttons to spin, but then there's also some interactive things going on within the screen where you'll be able to touch and press on buttons there as well. Now, the letters under that 10-inch screen do not change. That is just a static message there. It says, I'd like to solve the puzzle. I was hoping that those letters changed, and that was going to also be interactive. It is not. Also, did notice these speaker grills. It looks like they're using these on all the deluxe cabinets now. So these look to be the same speaker grills we got on the MK2. I am noticing, though, this gold trim, which is a nice touch. Donovan saying, I won't be getting the Wheel of Fortune cab, but I do hope it sells well and funnels lots of revenue into their systems so they can fund new cabs that we want to do later. That's a really good point, Donovan, is that, anyone that buys these Wheel of Fortune cabinets, particularly people that buy them that are outside of our home arcade community, that typically don't buy Arcade 1Up, that buy these, are going to help push that company, Arcade 1Up, to innovate and do better and bigger products in the future. And that's what we want to see. So even if you're not a huge fan of Wheel of Fortune or you're not a huge fan of these casino games, it's going to be good for our main demographic in home arcade, which is our classic arcade games and the ones that we remember. And that'll help them develop and make those cabinets in the future by selling these Wheel of Fortune CasinoCades. Matt Astra Gaming says those will sell really well on QVC and HSN. Definitely QVC, HSN, that you would think is their target audience with these, because it's going to be an older demographic like your grandparents and your retired that are going to buy up most of these, I would imagine. But it is a deluxe. So we saw on the website and on the information on the website that this is a deluxe arcade cabinet, which tells me this is going to be a Best Buy exclusive. We also have my short from a few weeks ago where I predicted this was going to be coming out this week. And it was in a Best Buy trailer with all the other Best Buy cabinets. So I think this is going to be right on shelves at Best Buy. I don't think it's going to be direct to consumer. And I don't think it's going to be QVC, HSN. I don't think any other retailers are getting these deluxe cabinets. But we'll have to see. Maybe it changes with this one. And the next thing I wanted to discuss after the CasinoCade is going to be Glen's control panel. So iArcade went out of business on Friday, officially Friday. That was like the last day that they were going to report to work. And now everything's in the hands of the bankruptcy court. We cannot purchase games. The store is down as far as new purchases. However, we can still redeem codes. We can re-download games that we had missing or we deleted. We can update games. And even more importantly, we can still play online. So we still have all those features and things we like about our iArcade still going. And right now it's like that, but it's not going to be like that much longer. I'm predicting probably sometime next week all that's going to change. They're going to shut down the servers, and then that'll kind of be the end of what we know as far as an iArcade. You know, the online play, the ability to download these games, update them, get new games, things like that. But I had originally told you guys last week that I thought all that was going to end on Wednesday. However, it's still going on even today. And that's because the servers are still up. So as through a bankruptcy court, there's going to be a point in which someone takes over these servers and they're going to go either shut them down or keep them running. It's really up to whoever buys these assets. It's really their decision. So I'll continue to monitor this and into next week. But I wanted to get into outside of iArcade and what's going on with the end of their business and the servers going down and things like that. I wanted to get into the future with Glen's GRS products and this GRS control panel and his new Sinden Shotgun. So we saw here GRS Ultimate Control Panel. We saw this officially announced. I guess it was pre-order started. It was about a week or two ago. I can't remember the exact date now. But he announced that he had a goal of 500 of these sold before he would start really producing them and sending them out. Thanks to Papa Brad, who I just saw in the chat, he had reached out to Glen's Retro Show today, and he had responded saying that he's at 485 of the 500 sold, and that was at around 4 p.m. Arizona my time, so it was about 3.5 hours ago. So at this moment right now, I bet he's at 500 or very close to it. Definitely going to hit that number. So we're definitely going to see these. He's got the money. He's got the units sold now to proceed. So everyone that was worried about that or was following that, we're pretty much past that point now. So very good news. Now, I'm not one of the ones that pre-ordered. I'm not going to be one of those 500. Like I told you last week, I want to see the final product, which we still have yet to see. Everything we've seen so far are either renders or prototypes. So I'm going to be one of those ones that wait. I'm going to let you guys spend your money, see what it looks like, see how it plays, and then I'll buy it later on. But it is at a price of $169, and it's going to release this winter around October, November. And then Tony C said the deluxe are all supposed to be $499, I thought. And I also thought that as well, but we saw Fast and the Furious at $599. and now we're getting the cost of the CasinoCade at $599. So that may be just the standard going forward. I don't know, with inflation and price of these products and what they cost to build them and source these parts, it may be $599 now. Steps Gaming says, hello, Biggie D and everyone else. Good to see you, Steps Gaming. Happy you're here in the chat with us. So goal of 500, price of 169, releasing this winter in October, November. And it also is going to have this GRS Sinden Shotgun. We got to see a lot more about that today if you were watching Glen's show today. And future products in 2024. So we're going to have all kinds of other products, steering wheels, what else? The Star Wars yoke, all these things that we're going to be able to mount and eventually add to the control panel. And that'll be coming next year. Now today, he showed off this boomstick, or what he was calling the boomstick. Now it officially has a name. It's called the GRS Shotgun. So I think that's just what it's going to be called, GRS Shotgun. And I don't know if we have a price on this yet. And I don't think we have a release date yet. But pre-orders are right around the corner. If I saw the video correct today, pre-orders are going to be coming very soon for these. And I think you can buy them in a set of 2, or you can buy 1. Maybe even buy the control panel with these bundled in with it. And but it does work with a variety of other products, and not just the iArcade. It's going to work with a RetroPie, Batacera, anything a Sinden light gun works with. This shotgun will work with as well, because it actually uses the Sinden technology. He worked in partnership with the Sinden company to make this, and it's made of like a wood, kind of like a very I don't know, kind of like a not a very solid wood, is kind of how I explained it. But a little heavier than like a plastic gun. And it does look like it's comfortable to hold, like you're playing certain types of games. This may be the ideal gun. Or if you're playing like a game like Time Crisis, you may want the pistol for that. So you may want to get both the pistol and the shotgun, or just one or the other. And Matt Astra say he's getting one, and he's going to make a video on the control panel. And Steps is saying he's at 488 now. So really moving along. We're only 12 short of the $500 goal. So that was quick. He got the 500 really fast, I feel like. And Steps is saying a fantastic price to get in. Can't go wrong. That brings up a good point, Steps, is that he could raise the price after the 500. Kickstarters, things like that, they typically will do that, where the first people that get in may get a better price. He may up that price to like $200 for future ones. We'll have to see on that. Donovan says, question for the community. Does heavy metal Titans work on your iArcade cabs? Whenever I try to start it, the game goes through the entire startup sequence and then drops out to the main screen select. And I'm not quite sure why you're having that issue, Donovan. The servers are still up. I have not experienced that issue with my heavy metal Titans. I do know that I had to get an update later on. I would recommend, and maybe seek out the iArcade Reddit forums or the Facebook group and ask on there before you actually do this. But this would be my advice, and I'm no expert on this, but I would uninstall Heavy Metal Titans and then go back and reinstall it. And that may fix it. And you want to turn off the cabinet, unplug it, plug it back in, things like that too, if you haven't done that already. And Tony C says the GRS Boomstick, I think that was the original name for it. They've since changed that name to the GRS Shotgun. I think that's what it's called. I didn't make a note on that to know for sure, but I think it's just going to be called the Shotgun. And Matt Astra says, I call it Honey Boom Boom. And Tony C says, mine works at Donovan. I think I've never had any problems. I've never heard of anyone having problems with it. That's my first experience hearing anyone having an issue. So I would start by unplugging it, resetting it and all that, by just unplugging it and turning it off. Then try loading the game up. If that doesn't work, I'd uninstall and reinstall So the next thing I wanted to get into, guys, is going to be Marvel versus Capcom 2. So this cabinet's been out for a while. We saw the initial wave of these all sold. Then we saw like a second wave of them shipped over. And I think most of those sold. I think they all ended up selling. But we've got more coming. We've actually got quite a bit of inventory on Marvel versus Capcom 2 cabinets coming overseas right now as we speak, and arriving portside. And a lot of these are the same SKU number, but I had saw this post here on Reddit. I found it very interesting. One of the newer versions that are coming over actually has a new SKU number or a new part number. Now, I think it's the same exact cabinet. I don't think there's any difference. I think this is just a new produced set of units, like a new wave. So it's going to get a new part number, a new SKU number. But it is the same exact cabinet. But it is interesting to see them investing in more Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinets, considering how poorly received the online was and how many out there. I think you could even ask Steps. She liked her Marvel vs. Capcom 1 cabinet more than the Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So it's very surprising to see them producing more of these and investing more time, energy, effort into getting these out there for us, because I just don't know if the demand's there for these. But maybe they know something I don't know, because they're doing it. They may have reasons for that. But we can see here, and we could scroll through this. This is the import data for the shipments coming overseas into the U.S. and for taste makers, which is Arcade One Up. We can see there's the new part number on some of these, and then the old part number on many of the others. But a lot of inventory coming over. Now, this person also brought up a really good point, and I had wanted to bring this up as well. And I know nothing about this. This would be totally out of what I would know what's going on, or I even have an idea of what's going on. But I did bring it up because it is interesting and it is good speculation. He says it looks like they've made more Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinets. Note the top entry, though. The item number is now this MRC A304926, and the model number for the current version of MVC2 is this 207310. The count on these cabs is low. Could these potentially be a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 XL or a Pro cabinet? I mean, possibly. Not very likely. I don't think that these new part numbers are anything different. I think it's the same exact cabinet, just with a different part number, because it's a new wave. They kind of like ended the last wave, and they're now producing and manufacturing the next wave of these Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinets, which I think this would be the third that we've seen. And he also brought this up. Any of your hardcore MVC2 fans know that X-Kith could stand for. He wants to know, what does this stand for? Because he said John D confirmed on a Facebook post that it's a collaboration cab with Kith. So I don't know who Kith is. I don't know what X-Kith is. I don't know what their involvement is with Arcade One Up and making these cabinets. But if anyone out there knows anything about this, put it in the chat. Or if you're rewatching the stream, I know we get 3 or 4 times as many people that rewatch the stream a day or a week later than are actually active during the live stream. So if you're out there and you're watching this, let us know what this is about if you have any information on it, because I'm really interested. Steps Gaming says Heavy Metal Titans had 4 updates, so it's a matter of what version you have. I've only had 1 update on my Heavy Metal Titans that I know of, but maybe there were some updates going on in the background that I didn't know about. Definitely get the newest version, though, if you can. Donovan's going to give that a try. Tony C said it will always be the boomstick to me. And I apologize, guys. I've got my dog barking in the background. Someone was pretty loud outside. So I apologize about that, guys. All right. So Steps Gaming says she sold her Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And then she says the new Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is a collab with a clothing line, and it will have a different skin. So she's up to date and up to speed on this X-Kith and this collaboration with Kith on the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinets. And she's saying that it is a clothing line, and basically kind of like we saw with the Street Fighter Big Blue cabinet, and we got like some alternative looking skins on that Big Blue. They're also going to do that with the Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So all very cool stuff, guys, with developments on Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So the next thing that I want to get into, guys, to kind of close out the show is going to be closing thoughts. Now, my closing thoughts for tonight, I have quite a bit of stuff here lined up. And these are, with the closing thoughts, this is more outside of the news of home arcade. And this is going to be more of my personal gaming, my personal home arcade gaming, and things of that sort. So let's take a look at what I've been up to this week with my home arcades and my gaming. Matt Astra says, Kith NYC is a high-end clothing line. And Atran Fanatic says, hey, Biggie and everybody, saying hi, Atran. Happy to see you made it. And Carlo says, yeah, I'm not reconnecting Wi-Fi on my arcade for a while. So I had mine disconnected, but I got back on when Circus Interstellar was given to me because I had to download that new game. And I had the old, if you guys remember, the attract screen was changed last week to just the R. And it was just kind of a cycle of that R over and over again. But I got lucky whenever I put it back on internet to download Circus Interstellar. I got the old attract mode back that has all the games, where it's showcasing all the best games, like Donut Dodo and all the games that everyone loves. So I'm happy that I was able to get the attract mode that I wanted, and I reconnected. That worked out for me. But I did want to discuss Ghost Squad. So I told you guys last week on my Wii, I've been hooking my Wii up to my At Games Legends Ultimate. And I've been playing Wii games on my At Games. And I had purchased this Ghost Squad. This is a Sega on-the-rail shooter. And very similar to, what would I compare this to? This would be very similar to Time Crisis. And I was really excited about playing it. I had saw Kev Gret playing it on his ALU on one of his videos, and it made me want to run out and buy this. And I got it on Friday, and the guy packaged it super well. I mean, he put this thing together with bubble wrap, box inside another bubble wrap. But unfortunately, I don't know if it's the heat out here in Arizona. It gets super hot out here, like 107, 108 right now. But it started cracking towards the center there. You can see towards the very center of those cracks. So I messaged this person. I had bought this on eBay, and he's already refunded me the money. So I only paid like $9 for it. He already refunded me the money. So I took that money and I went out and I repurchased the game again for the same price. And since I already have the case and the booklet, I just went for the cheapest one. It was like $8 or $9 for just the CD. So now I was fortunate enough, because I was just so eager to play this game. I did pop this in my Wii U for about 10 minutes and I played it. I was risking losing my Wii U, because if that thing would have gotten all broken up in there, it would have ruined it. It would have potentially ruined my Wii U forever. So I took a really big chance putting it in there, but it worked out and I got to play it for about 10 minutes. Really cool game. And that's what made me want to go repurchase it again immediately. So hopefully next week I get another CD in better condition that I can play. Let's see here. Atran says, that's smart, Carl. Carl O saying, I'm keeping all my games. Don't want to lose any. Like, that brings up a good point. I was listening to K-Fox tonight talking about the iArcade and how they were pulling certain games from people, Metal Slug and particularly that game, because we got it, or some people got it. I never personally ran the script to get it, but many did. And it wasn't a game we were supposed to have, so they took it back. And many people are upset by that. I don't really have an opinion on it. I mean, if the game was not really supposed to be on there in the first place, give it back to them. You know, maybe they've got their reasoning behind pulling that game off of people's iArcades. Maybe there's some legal consequences if they didn't. We don't really know. I give them the benefit of the doubt. And I can play Metal Slug on my ALU. I can play it on this Marvel Superheroes on my Pi. I've got more than enough ways to play Metal Slug, so I'm not too worried about it. And those were the only ones they took. I don't think they took any paid games. Fire Island HD is here. He says, is there a place to go for iArcade just for updates to games? So the only way you can get updates for the games is through the iArcade store. Once that gets all shut down, which I'm assuming could be next week, that's it. There are no more updates. And unless Mystery Encoder or Glenn has some way of doing that for us, which I doubt they are, updates will cease. That will end. Toxin's talking about, that's a good game. Talking about Ghost Squad. Really happy with it. It was a lot of fun. Very similar to Time Crisis. But I'd purchased this Nyko Perfect Shot I had told you, and I got it in the mail on Friday. It's in really good shape. A lot of the used ones I'd found out there, the orange tips are missing. They're broken off. This one actually had the orange tip, keeping it all stable on there. And I do like this way more than that Zapper. Because that Zapper, you hold it all awkward. This is like a real pistol, and it's got a pretty clicky trigger on it. So this is the way I'm enjoying playing it. And I've been playing a ton since I got this on Friday. But this is how it looks when you've got the Wii mode in it. And it's very accurate. I've got the sensor bar right on top of the game deck pointing kind of at me. And it's super accurate. If I point it directly down and I'm about 4 feet away from it, it's dead on. Atran saying 101 currently in Mesa. Yeah, it was high of 107 in Glendale today, and I'm sure it's still over 100 right now. Super hot. Atran, Biggie D's Arcade, I would have offered to repair your Wii U if it broke. Okay, so yeah, if you're repairing those, Atran, I know the person to go to for that. And Carlo said, yeah, they pulled the rug out in a week flat. Thank God we got Glenn and me. So this is me playing, guys, Resident Evil, The Dark Side Chronicles. This is a really fun game. It's got a cool storyline, kind of expands on the storyline of a lot of the other Resident Evil games we've played. And it's just a lot of fun. I have the first Resident Evil. I've got The Dark Side Chronicles, which I'm playing through now. And also House of the Dead 2, House of the Dead 3. I've got Ghost Squad coming. So I've got a ton of light gun games to play now. And this is filling that void for me. I was going to get the Sinden guns. I was going to get Glenn's deck. But this is enough, guys. This is actually perfect for me right now. And I'm spending like $10 each on these games. I spent $20 on the Nyko Perfect Shot. So I'm spending next to nothing to use my Wii, so it's getting some use. And I'm playing some games I never played before in an arcade type experience. Really cool. So I wanted to see on ways where I could expand that and enjoy this type of stuff even more. Carlos says that's a slick gun. Looks really good on the 24-inch screen. Yeah, these widescreen games, these more modern shooting games on this screen look really good. And Atran says, yeah, I'm trying to build a console repair business on the side. Just trying right now to get a car going so I can make some income. That's pretty cool. Repair businesses are not easy. Not everyone can do that kind of work. So I think you're onto the right idea with this. I know I've paid plenty of people in my past to repair systems for me. So I wanted to also use some of my older systems in this way, play light gun games. And I came across these on Amazon and eBay, and I found the lowest price on Walmart of all places, but I didn't find that till after I'd purchased mine on eBay. But you can get this for this whole setup right here, the gun, the sensor bar, and the game for $20 at Walmart right now, brand new in the box. Through Loot Hive, I think is the seller. He's got a ton of these things. And so I bought one, $20. I'm going to try it out. I'm going to see what it's like. Some of the reviews on these are, some really like it. They'll give 5 stars. Some people are giving like 1 star. They say it's not accurate. It's they fall apart. They break quick. But for $20, I mean, what's the cost here? I mean, I'm not really risking all that much, and I'm getting a light gun experience, a different light gun experience. I'm using my PS3. I'm gonna pull the PS3 out of the box, start playing it again in this arcade way, you know, in this experience of like a real arcade. So I think that's really cool. So I got this bundle here, which gives me the African Adventures and the Survivor or Survival. And these are two just light gun games on the PS3. Comes with the gun, comes with the batteries, comes with the USB dongle, as well as the sensor bar. And these also these stickers. So maybe I'll do a video on this stuff just to kind of get it out there, and maybe it'll be fun, maybe it'll be a waste of money, but I think it'll be interesting stuff for content. And let's see what everyone else has to say, see if anyone has one of these. Papa Brad says, looks at that Wii in action. And he also says, Biggie D is using his Wii. Carl O, ALU is the best. It's no contest. And I'm having a ton of fun with my At Games Legends. I'm getting more and more into it. I've got my PC hooked up to it now with the OTG, and I'm playing Steam games. So now I've just opened up my entire Steam library to my At Games Legends Ultimate, and I've been able to map my buttons. Everything works perfect on the control panel. Atrium Fanatic says, thanks for the kind words. And Papa Brad's Gaming says, I love the gun games on the ALU screen. And I do remember your video, Papa Brad, of you playing the iArcade on the ALU screen. That's pretty cool how we can do that. And Carlos says, look at that, Cabela's. And Show Me Retro, got to mod that Wii Biggie. Very simple, and you load up a hard drive with nothing but shooters. I've thought about it, but I've got a really large library of Wii U games and Wii games, and I just want to keep it stock. I want it to be that stock experience on my consoles. I've never actually modded any of my consoles. I like modding the Raspberry Pi. I like modding the At Games Legends Ultimate with the soft mod. But like my consoles, I've always kept those stock, and I really enjoy the eBay shopping experience. You know, the like going through eBay and finding games like this for pennies on the dollar, and finding them in casing that is still in really good shape, perfect cases with instruction booklets. I like collecting all that stuff. So I've got a big collection of games and Wii games, PS3 games. But then, I don't know if you guys watched my walk and talk where I had gone to Ready Player One games, but I got to play one of these, what I call a Vulix candy cab. This was a Noré Cabinet HD by Namco, but these things are really cool. I'm super interested in these candy cabs now, and at the end of 2024, maybe I'll own one of these. They're like $2,000 or $3,000. So maybe in like a year from now, I can see myself maybe eventually getting one. But I kind of want to fill my need for one of these right now in other ways. And I had so much fun playing this Tekken 6 Darkline Rebellion. And it's a game I'm really good at. I played Tekken growing up a lot with my friends, and we would get together and we'd have like 5-6 people in the house, and we'd play Tekken for hours. And I was always one of the best of the group with Tekken. And I still remember the moves really well. And I've got my characters that I'm good with. So I wanted to get this experience on my At Games Legends Ultimate to kind of get me by until I can afford or purchase a candy cane. So I've got Tekken Tag Tournament 2, which is I think one of the best Tekken games. To date, Tekken Tag Tournament 2 I think is the best Tekken game in my opinion. I think many others out there also feel that way. And I'm lucky enough, I've got a digital version on my Wii U, and I can just load it up super quickly by just powering on my Wii U and pressing one button. So I was like, I gotta get this working on my At Games Legends Ultimate, and it'll give me that candy cab experience for a while. And got it hooked up through the HDMI, and it looks amazing on the At Games screen. However, the OTG controls do not work. So the OTG controls on At Games Legends Ultimate are recognized as an HID controller. So it is recognized by a PC, it's recognized by Steam and all that, but you have to map the buttons. Well, with a Wii U, you don't have that ability because you can't go in and fine-tune things like that. But you could mod the Wii U, I found, and I could install software on there and then map it and make it all work, but mine's not modded. So I started thinking of ideas on what I could do, and I've just scoured the internet for hours looking for ways. The only thing that I could come close to, and this is still not a for sure thing that this is going to work. It very well might not work. I watched a video of a guy using one of these, and he could use generic Xbox controllers. He could use Xbox controllers, Xbox 360 controllers, you name it, on the Wii U. So I'm hoping with this part that I found, it's called a Brook Wii U to Xbox 360, Xbox One Super Converter. These were made about 6-7 years ago when the Wii U was popular. You can find more of the modern ones for the modern systems they're selling now, but they discontinued these. But I had found some on eBay. These come from Korea, and they're $36 with $15 shipping, so right at $50, pretty high price. But I took a chance. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy this thing, and it'll give me the ability to use Xbox controllers if I ever need to. But best case scenario, I plug this thing in. I plug the At Games Legends Ultimate into it via OTG mode, and it recognizes it. I'm hoping that this, you can update the firmware on this dongle. I'm hoping it's got the programming and the button mapping already done in the software on the dongle. That's my hope. And I'll follow this and let you guys know what happens with this. But sometime before August 1st, I'm going to get this thing from Korea and try it out. But it's a brand new, unused, unopened dongle. He's sold 26 of these. There's 2 available still. But we'll see what happens with this. But if I could get this thing, just plug it into the Wii U, plug the other into the ALU, and it give me a full game deck of controls, that would just be like the ultimate best, I guess you could say, ending. Now, the worst case scenario would be that it doesn't work, and at least then I have the option to use my Xbox controllers and my Wii U. I guess that's a cool feature, cool, nice thing to have. In case I run out of Wii controllers or I can't buy any in the future, I'll still be able to play my Wii U long into the future with Xbox controllers. Stardust says a lot of great light gun games for the PS4 if you have the Move controller. So I don't have the Move controller, and I don't have the PS4. I have the PS3 and the PS5. So I'm hoping these Cabela's guns will give me something fun to do with light guns on the PS3. Show Me Retro, Soul Calibur's his favorite. The Tekken is also great. I do like Soul Calibur. It's a fun game. Soul Calibur and Tekken is A-Trans jams. Papa Brad's Gaming says playing real arcade games and pinball on location will always be amazing. I'm loving your arcade content. Well done, brother. I appreciate it, Papa Brad. And if you guys haven't watched my walk and talk that I posted today, I posted it right around the time K-Fox went on. I've been doing a lot of arcade traveling around town, checking out arcades and playing these things, and I'm getting some content of me playing them. So if you guys enjoy that kind of stuff or just enjoy seeing new arcades in different areas of the country, I'm going to be doing a lot of that in the Phoenix area. I'm going to try and do one of these every weekend or every other weekend. I also wanted to let you guys know I'm going to probably take next weekend off just for the sake of not getting burnt out on these live streams, and also for the sake of having enough good content and things to talk about. I'm going to take next Sunday off. I don't have any particular reason to take off next Sunday. I'm just going to do it to kind of refresh and recharge and give myself a week off, basically. But I just want to kind of give everyone notice so I'm not like, changing last minute. You guys will know I won't be here next Sunday. I am going to try and work on some videos, though, and maybe another walk and talk. No guarantees, but we'll see how motivated I am to make new content. But I did get a good walk and talk out early this week on Monday or Tuesday. Got one out today. Did the live stream today, so I think that's good for a while. And but I'm growing. I'm so happy. I'm monetized now. So if you guys ever want to donate to the channel, just know that that money will go back into the channel. That's going to go into better cameras, better microphones, things that are going to make your viewing experience better. So know that. But I am monetized now. I did not have to get to 1,000 like I thought. I had the 4,000 hours watch time, but I was at like 922, 923. But they changed the rules. It's now 500 subscribers and you're monetized. So that's already taken effect. and moving things along. But definitely at 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to stay true to my word. I'm still going to do a giveaway, and I'm going to give away a CounterCade. And I don't know which one that's going to be yet. I've been shopping them, but I'm going to wait till right around the time that I hit the 1,000. I'm going to run the contest, and I'm going to try and work it out where I can ship directly to you from the retailer, whoever wins, directly from the retailer to your house. That way it gets to you quickly, and you get it brand new, and it doesn't have to go through me to get to you. But know that's coming up very soon because I'm at like 925 or something like that, 923 subscribers. So here any week now, any month now, I'm going to be giving away a Arcade 1-Up CounterCade. So look forward to that. Chris is here. He says modding the Wii is very easy, FYI. He says I'm revisiting it and having it load immediately to a front loader upon booting. One for the iArcade, one for the CRT. Very cool. Actually debating making a Wii U arcade system. All cool stuff. I may have to buy a Wii just to mod it. There's a lot of Wiis out there on the Facebook Marketplace, and I could maybe buy a Wii just to play around with it. Atran said, yep, he put his Wii and GameCube library on his modded Wii running off a 1 terabyte external hard drive. That is really freaking cool. And look at this, guys. My very first super chat from Papa Brad's Gaming. Congratulations, bud. Biggie D is legit, $5. I super appreciate that. Thank you so much, Papa Brad. Very first super chat. And it couldn't be a better person to get it from than Papa Brad. He's been one of my biggest supporters from the very beginning. And he's always in the chat. He's always encouraging people to come watch my videos and my channel. So I sure appreciate that, man. That's super cool of you. And Kurt's saying congrats, and Atran saying congrats. And again, Papa Brad, thank you. And on that note, we'll end the show here. We're not quite at an hour, but we're very close. We're at like 55 minutes, and I've just run out of subjects and things to talk about. Like I said, the Arcade 1-Up new cabinets has been kind of slow here in 2023. It's going to ramp up here towards the end of this year, though. So we've got a lot coming, and we're just slow to get there. So stay tuned. I'm going to continue to cover this stuff. I will not be here next Sunday. I'm going to take next Sunday off, but I'll be back the following Sunday, and I'll be having videos and all the other content in between. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your Sunday evening, Sunday night, a good start to Monday, and I'll see everyone in the next one. Bye-bye, guys. Have a good evening. Okay, guys, I had to come back. Carl O, Super Chat, $2. You are the one of my favorite content creators. I appreciate that, Carl. Thank you so much for the $2 Super Chat. He has been one of my biggest supporters from the very beginning. Is Carl O. I think he was one of my very first subscribers. So I surely appreciate that, Carl O, the $2. And we've got one more that just came through from Goofyfoot. He needed some yellow. So he did a super chat of $9.99. I super appreciate that, Goofy. Again, another one of my followers and subscribers from the very beginning was Goofyfoot. I actually knew of Goofyfoot well before I even started my channel, because many of the live streams that I watched, whether it be Console Kids or 19K Fox or P-Dubs or Michael B, I would always see Goofyfoot in the chat. So I always knew who he was even before I really got to know who he was. I knew who he was from the chat. So it's really cool to see how far we've come, you know, from me just being a viewer in the chat, recognizing some of you guys out there from those chats, and then making the channel, making that decision to make the channel, to start creating content and to get better and to stick with it and to finally be at this point now where I'm almost at 1,000 and I'm accepting super chats and donations from you guys. Is just super encouraging for me. It's going to just motivate me even more to make better content for you guys out there, and to just be more consistent and be more determined to, you know, make good stuff for you guys. So I sure appreciate all three of you guys: Papa Brad, Carl O, Goofyfoot, everyone. And Fire Island, Papa Brad, Kev Gret, did you plug your Wii At Games video, Biggie. I did. I plugged your Wii At Games Legends Ultimate video last week as well as this week on why and who gave me the idea for using my Wii on my At Games Legends was Kevgrad. So if you guys haven't checked out his video on that, definitely check that out. And I'll see everyone very soon in the next video, guys. Have a good night and a good Monday. Bye-bye.